I like to ruin my morning workout with drinking at 10:47 in the morning.
There you go.
All right.
I'm marathon training, so that's why I
know.
train.
We're going to dive into that. So I'm going to just start it out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this is Shot 30 Podcast, and I am Shayne Neubert. And sitting across from me today is the beautiful Grace Simpson. She is running for State's Attorney for Mercer County.
Yep, that's correct.
All right. We're going to dive into all of it, but first of all, I'd like to say thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, no problem.
And this is kind of weird for me because I'm a very dumb guy. So I have no idea anything about any of this kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like. So does this mean like you're a big political person?
So yes and no. It's big for me. It's a really awesome experience for me. There are obviously much larger political roles you can play. Obviously, president, your state reps, your U.S. Congress, all of that. And you can be the attorney general, which would be the head honcho. Yeah.
Is that per state? Is there like an attorney general per state or one for the country?
So it's per state. They're not always called attorney general. In each state, they have different names, district attorneys, things like that. But in Illinois, it's called the attorney general.
Wow. Okay. So now you went to law school, correct?
That's correct.
And how many years is that?
So it's a 3-year program. Every law school in the state of Illinois has to follow a certain curriculum. So
Did you go to ISU first?
I went to University of Illinois first.
Oh, okay.
And then I went to Southern Illinois University.
Oh, that's it.
For law school. Yeah, Carbondale.
Okay, gotcha. Shout out.
Saluki.
And in case you're here or new, Shot 30 Podcast is available on YouTube and all your favorite podcast apps, Stitcher, CastBox, Apple Podcasts, all those things. Go give it a like, share, and a 5-star if you can. And now we're going to go into your face is all over this area on the billboards. How does that feel?
So I think I shared a post the other day that said it feels very odd to have your name up in lights. The billboard is huge.
It is huge. It is huge. Is there two?
There's just one. One is in preemption, but the sign...
So then there's the other smaller signs, because I've seen you all over. I'm like, she's going to be on the podcast.
Yeah, my face is on the sign, on like the yard signs that go in people's yards, and we do have bigger ones. We did that because obviously COVID. Uh-huh. You can't do as much in-person meetings, so we're trying to do the face recognition, then transfer to the Facebook page and all of that.
And I've seen you out there being a grill master.
Yeah, I was grilled some pork chops for some veterans the other day.
Have you ever done much on the grill before that?
I've worked in a restaurant for about 10 years, but that's flat top. This was a real grill.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot of meat out in front of you that you have to tend to.
Yes, they were, and different parts of the grill cooked faster. It was.
Oh yeah.
It was.
Did you get any complaints?
No one, but I wasn't there that long, so I don't...
The one guy's over there eating a pink burger, and he's looking over at you like, you lost my vote.
I thankfully had a good grill master next to me telling me to continue to... I had some help.
Good.
Inside help.
Everybody needs a little bit of help. And, okay, so how or why is this something that you want to do, be this Mercer County State's Attorney? Now, does every county have a state's attorney?
Yes.
Okay, so now, why is this something that you want to do?
So it's kind of cliche, but it has been my dream since I was about 7 to be an attorney. And then when I went into law internships...
Is there a difference in lawyer and attorney? I'm telling you, I'm very dumb. I'm a very dumb guy.
No, not really. So if you're referring to like state's attorney, we're government employees, like lawyers, private lawyers. There's different fields of it. But I'm strictly like a government attorney. I don't handle any private work. We're actually not allowed to. But this has been an absolute dream of mine since I was younger. I did some work in this area when I was in law school, and it's just kind of built up from there.
I've seen a lot of really good support. Like I don't like. A lot of people come at me because I'm just so dumb in politics. I have no idea. Like, I get more stressed out from 2 seconds of politics than having 3 girls and a wife and all these dogs. I mean, that'll stress me out in 2 minutes more than anything in this house.
Politics are something else. I have certainly learned a lot in the last year and a half. You have the good and you have the bad. You know, and politics are stressful. There's a certain way to handle it, but mostly it's good support, and, you know, people are ready to learn about me and talk to me, and I am ready to take that in any avenue I can.
That's awesome, and you seem like a very personable person, as if that's even a word. Personable.
Personable person. Yeah, that's
right. We'll go with it, and I think that will really help you out. And so the election would be, is that November?
Yep, November. 51 days. Woo!
Okay, you're counting them down.
I'm counting down.
You're almost down to fingers and toes.
That's right.
Halfway there.
I'm close. I'm close.
For some people who have the extra 6th finger.
Right.
Can I tell you this story?
Sure.
This is a really bad story. So there was this Cubs pitcher, and his name was Antonio Alfonseca, and he was born with 6 fingers. And I had messaged him when we were in the garage. We have like a bunch of autographs and stuff, and like we call it a Cubs cave, bear cave. And so I messaged him and asked for an autograph. He goes, "Yeah, what do you want?" I said, "Can you make me a hand turkey?" like the little kid hand turkey.
Oh!
Dude, he blocked me so fast.
He was not about that. Oh.
I thought it was silly, and man, I really offended him. Hey, Antonio Alfonseca, if you're out there listening to this, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Unblock him.
yeah, unblock me. Give me another chance. Okay, so now, well, first, Shot 30 Podcast is sponsored by Mrs. Newbie's Cakes and Cookies for the most beautiful cupcakes, cookies, cakes, decorative cakes, delights, all that you can ask for. Go visit Mrs. Newbie's Cakes and Cookies on Facebook and Instagram and put in your order to support local business. Yeah. It's the most incredible thing you ever see. Her cakes are incredible.
Ooh.
Yeah, she makes everything. She does have you ever done the cricket stuff?
No.
Yeah, she does all the cricket stuff. She's
wow.
She's a bad egg.
Ooh.
I mean, that probably doesn't sound like the nicest thing, bad egg. So we're going to go back into, you and your state's attorney position that you're running for. But first of all, let's talk about your dog, Frenchie.
Oh, my Frenchie. You did your research.
I did do my research.
Oh, my Max.
What type of dog is he?
So he is a French bulldog.
Mm-hmm.
And his name is Max. French bulldogs can have a whole bunch of different colors. The more solid the color, the more they're going to hurt your wallet. So,
he's a beautiful dog.
He is beautiful, and he is spoiled.
I could tell that. Scrolling through your page, he looks like he is a mama's boy.
He is, and that's my fault. When I was in law school, he was getting house trained, and I didn't want him to be by himself very long, so he went to a babysitter.
No.
And now my mom is retired, so now he spends 0 moments alone by himself. And
is he snipped?
Yeah, he has to be. So Frenchies are ridiculously expensive, and a way to kind of
approximately how much?
So they can range anywhere from about $3,000 to $5,000. If you're going to get breeding rights and AKC registered and all of that, you're probably looking upwards to the $6,000.
Have you ever thought about having him as a show dog?
Well, we showed cattle, and that was enough.
Yeah, I saw that. You were in like the ag group when you were in high school, correct?
So I was really involved in agriculture. Actually, my undergraduate degree is agricultural related, which I think is perfect for this area because we're a super agriculturally based area as well. And but we showed cattle, and as it's amazingly fun. My sister showed sheep as well. Super great community, super fun experiences, open the doors, lifetime for me. But it's competitive, and it's a lot of work.
They get raw up in
that. Yeah, they do.
Put on overalls and their long gloves, and they get down.
You would not believe it. So showing was a really great part of my life. It's not something I'd want to do with dogs. It was.
How does that happen? Did you grow up on a farm or anything? Yep. Okay.
So we live outside of Alexis, family farm. We're kind of, our predominance is outside of Alexis. And my grandparents are from Alexis as well. So grew up on a farm, mostly cattle on our farm. My sister, like I said, showed sheep. We dabbled in pigs a little bit, but it was
the dabble.
But it was like a year.
That's a word I haven't heard in a while.
Dabble. Bringing out my 80-year-old woman in me.
Okay, so now, let's say you get elected as Mercer County State's Attorney. Is that your full-time job?
Yes, yeah.
What do you do right now?
So I am an assistant state's attorney. So I work for essentially the state's attorney, and then I work under him.
Who's that right now?
So the state's attorney in Mercer County is Megan Lee, but I work in Henry currently.
Okay, and who's that?
Matt Shuddy is who is my boss. He's not running again, so he's.
Okay.
He serves till November/December.
I gotcha.
And then he'll be done.
Do you like your chances? Do you like your odds? Do you feel confident?
I do feel confident. My feedback has been really good. Just a matter of hitting the ground running the next the next month or so, next month/2 months, 51 days. And just really meeting majority of people I haven't, getting out to smaller towns. We haven't done a lot in Joy, so we intend to do some stuff there.
Well, I hope this podcast helps you too, like especially in these areas in a little cul-de-sac of Matherville here, a little bump in the road. Yeah, and I think you're just such an awesome person, and I think that's where a lot of the politics, where it all gets lost, is so many people are just so fake and different, and you have no idea what you're even dealing with. You just get this package and you open it up and you have no idea what you just got.
Yeah. I hope, for even my yard signs, I've tried to deliver all of them personally.
Oh,
Obviously,
that's awesome.
we've gotten, someone asks someone else and they get it. But, even after I leave here, I'm going to go deliver a couple signs to people just in case they want to pop out of their house and talk to me or say hello. Or, at the very least, just say, she came to my house.
Uh-huh.
So.
Hey, you're a celebrity. You're on a billboard.
A full billboard.
Okay, so if you were to... Do you have a commercial out there yet?
No, commercials are really expensive. And generally for, especially...
You could sell your bulldog and do a commercial,
nope,
right?
Not a chance. I could, but I'm not. He would also, I don't think he would ever forget. He'd come back like an omen. He would be like, nope.
Yeah. So if you were to ever do a commercial, how would it be? Let's break it down. How would you be? Hi, my name's Grace Simpson.
So I guess I did do an ad through, I think it was WRMJ or someplace in Aledo, and it was mostly, I forget what the beginning of it was, but basically the end of it was like, common sense prosecution, a vote for me just makes sense.
Oh, hey, you're chippy and cheery. I got it. Get the old cane out.
Right. I could almost do like a little Sandman dance to it.
That's awesome.
I could make it a jingle, I guess.
So if you get elected state's attorney, how long does that last?
It's a 4-year term.
Okay, and so do people as young as you normally get elected?
So I think if Google served me correctly, I would be the second youngest state's attorney ever elected in the state of Illinois.
Yeah, because I kind of assume that because it's all old people most of the time in politics.
Older. It just... If you do the math, you have to go to school you have to have an undergrad, you have to go to law school.
I mean old like my wife. My wife's 37.
Oh, she would appreciate that.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That's old to me.
It was.
I have to put icy hot on her every night because she can't wake up in the morning. That's how old she is.
It's tough. I get it. Icy hot's my friend. But they, so that has actually been something that I've addressed quite frequently is my age. I think that maybe some people would be concerned with, not having enough experience, but I know attorneys who have practiced for 5 to 10 years and haven't had as many jury trials as I have. I'm up over 10, and that's a phenomenal number.
Oh, okay. So you have actually done court cases being as a assistant? Yep.
Oh. So I handle all felonies, except for the way that it works in Henry County is basically there's 5 attorneys, a traffic attorney, a misdemeanor attorney, then there's 2 felony attorneys, and the state's attorney.
Okay, so now if I get off par too far here, or I'm saying something that give me the cutthroat.
Sure.
But now you defend people for the state?
So, kind of. I represent the people of the state of Illinois, and when someone breaks a criminal statute, driving under the influence, possession of a controlled substance, possession of cannabis can be a felony or not anymore, but, something like that, we bring a case on behalf of the people of the state of Illinois. So it's us, we represent the government, and then we prosecute the people who broke the law. So we are not defending anyone per se.
I gotcha.
But we are bringing cases on behalf of people who have broken the law. On behalf of the government, I guess I would say.
Gotcha.
Which I think is a layman's way of explaining things.
So you're not in my dumb brain, the way I think of it is, you're not doing like, if some guy walks into a house and stabs somebody, you wouldn't be defending the guy who stabbed somebody.
That's correct. That would be a private attorney.
Okay.
Yep. That person does probably, if they're charged with something, become a defendant, but we would be prosecuting him. So we're trying to get him found guilty, and we're trying to punish him in a way that seems fit.
I understand.
So.
Okay, now, when you were in law school, you never thought about just personal practice? Or your eyes were always set towards this goal?
Yeah, it has crossed my mind, and especially around, the smaller areas, there is a lot of need for, private attorneys. It just isn't something I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really, really passionate about, prosecution work, and I enjoy what I do. I honestly wake up every morning and go to a job that I love.
Awesome.
So.
Okay, so now we're going to dive into you as a person a little bit more. Now, you are a running freak.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Now, the Grace that I met in high school was also a long-distance track runner.
Yep.
And so that never broke habit.
It actually has gotten worse because when I was in high school, we did not have cross-country. So I ran like the 800 or I think like the 4x8 or the longest distance you could at the time in the track and field world.
And it was never long enough for you.
I don't know. I just decided. So I just decided once I got home and I was studying for the bar, that's the worst thing that's ever happened to me. It's so stressful.
The bar?
The bar exam.
Let's go. Wait. Let's wait for the running. I want to hear, what does that entail, the bar?
So the bar exam is 2 days.
Because I hear about that in every John Grisham book.
It was, and actually most law books I don't agree with. They're very
He's
fictional. a very good
John
writer.
Grisham's a man.
He's a very good writer. So the bar is in every state it's a little different. Mm-hmm. Illinois is rigorous and it's insane. On average, you're supposed to spend about 3 months studying for it, and it's all the fields of law. It's everything in there.
Do you get one attempt?
You can do it again if you want, but it's very expensive. And but it's hard to pass. I mean, there are a lot of people that fail the first time.
Okay.
Yes.
So you study for 3 months. What does your life look like during those 3 months?
Well, that's kind of how I got into running. It looks non-existent. I think there were days I had no idea what day it was because.
So you would use the running to maybe just disappear from.
Well, I didn't have time to go to the gym. Obviously,
Absolutely.
around here,
Totally
things are 30-plus minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have time to go to the gym, work out, come back. I would maybe only have a 30-minute period. So I started running. And then it turned into, once I was done with the bar, I decided I wanted to, you have this downtime where you have to wait for results, which is another 3 months.
You're like the real life story of Forrest Gump. You just never stopped running.
Well, I have now because, well, not now, but we don't have races right now, which is really unfortunate.
So did you race in Disney World or Disneyland?
I did. I ran, so in Walt Disney World, Florida, I always get them confused. In Florida, they have this thing called the Dopey Challenge. You can run separate races, but the Dopey Challenge is a 4-day challenge. It's a 5K, a 10K, a half, and a full marathon.
And so you did them all?
I did all 4.
Okay, because you were covered in medals. I was saying that as a joke, and literally I just went speechless because I didn't know that you actually did them all.
Yes, no, you did them all. It was,
wow.
And the kicker of it is you're in Disney, so you don't just go home and rest after you run. You go home and you go back to your room and you go out. You go out to whatever Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom. So I think my watch the last day that I had ran the 26 miles was thinking I was just I don't know what it thought, but my watch was going crazy. My iWatch was going crazy. Ma'am, stop moving.
Wow. So now, I mean, your body has. How long does your body take to recover after doing something that long and extensive?
So for a regular marathon, my body takes about a week to really start to feel like it's back to normal, processing things normal. After Dopey, which I didn't know what to expect.
Is that after the Seven Dwarfs?
It felt sleepy, grumpy. It felt all those things. It was. I'm signed up again this year, so I if it goes, it goes.
Yeah, you might have to do it in a suit and like your state's attorney suit.
It was. Well, I could. They do allow costumes, but I'm signed up again as long as it. But Disney's open right now, so hopefully they.
Now, how much do you think that COVID's affected your campaign? I mean, especially you. I think that you would be so much more beneficial off of meeting people, seeing people, because you're smart, you're funny, you're personable. I'm going to keep using that word. I don't know if it exists.
I think it's a word. I think in the beginning it really has. We would be on 20+ parades. We would have events back to back every weekend. But I think that I think it's been very obvious who's going the extra mile and who's not. Mm-hmm. Finding really different ways to meet people, finding, ways to get your word out there. And I think people are really noticing. So I definitely think that COVID has affected the normal political route of things. But I'd like to think that I've still tried to keep up as best we could. Obviously, in the months where it was like in March to April, May, everyone was completely shut down. But we've been trying to, my mom and I, either every Saturday, Sunday, go to just a random restaurant in Mercer County, talk to people.
Awesome.
Every Friday, Saturday, usually, this is a different kind of Saturday, but we go work out together, we wear our shirts. That's in Knox County, but you never know. And we go to, taco nights every Thursday and say hi to people and talk to people. Yeah,
4th of July would have been a really big one for you. And, of course, 4th of July didn't happen,
Yeah, I forget.
It's a leap year. We missed 4th of July this year.
Yeah, we skipped it all.
It seems like we're going to miss Halloween, too.
I hope not.
It's not looking promising. I
know it's not.
And the funny thing is, that's the one holiday where everyone wears masks,
Yeah, I see, and I saw someone, I think, post somewhere, it's outside if you, but I think that going to people's houses is what people are worried about.
Yeah, and then the touching. There's a lot of touching in Halloween, too, I just think, I've been trying to order, on my Facebook page pulls up the weirdest stuff, but there's these, real skin, masks,
oh my gosh.
And I've been thinking about buying one so bad. They're so expensive, but just to scare.
Just to be.
Yeah, because then, then Timmery's probably going to need you because he'll probably shoot me and not mean to shoot me. But there's this creepy old man head one, and
I'll be there for her because I understand that would be so scary.
I would literally be on her defense. But okay, so now now when it comes to young pretty attorneys, do you feel like you're in Legally Blonde?
I don't think my Frenchie helps that persona at all.
Do you carry around in the bag?
I took my Frenchie, this was obviously not during COVID, it was over a year ago at this point. I took him to a parade in Keysburg thinking, people will want to pet the dog, and he wears a Grace Simpson for State's Attorney shirt. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. This is a great idea. And the dog overheats and was sounding like he was dying. And I'm like, he's not dying, he's just being dramatic. So I pick him up, and he immediately stops making that sound. He stops sounding like he's the deprived dog that he thinks he is, and he's no longer hot. And so I'm holding him, and I have to carry this dog through the whole parade. Because this dog is mad. He doesn't want to walk the 6 blocks it took to get through Keysburg. And I carry this dog through this parade. And it was embarrassing. And I was so mad at him. And he wanted to see everything. So he sat in my arms, almost on my chest, facing forward. So it was like I was, preceding the dog through this parade.
But that has to help you look. Not even just look, but you're a normal person. You're a normal person, and you're going through some normal person stuff when you're carrying around a dog.
I was so mad at him, and it was hot. It was hot, but not the hot he was acting. I was so mad at him.
So that's your Legally Blonde moment.
I don't think it probably helped. Not here. It was. I did used to have jet black hair, which took away from the Legally Blonde. But yeah. This is my natural hair. So
more like Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
Do you know who that is?
I don't.
She's Marvel. She's like a private detective type deal. So I'm just.
I was going for like a Megan Fox thing.
Oh, okay. I totally understand. I'm trying to go with my Billy Ray Cyrus right now with my mullet.
Oh, I think you're right on the right track.
I cut it fresh for you today. Like I literally just got it done.
Wow. Oh wow.
Hey, Shot 30 Podcast is sponsored by Conspiracy Kimonos. Get your custom made gi for jiu-jitsu today and start wrestling people and putting them in chokes and stuff like that. Visit Conspiracy Kimono on Facebook and Instagram today and get your custom-made gi for jiu-jitsu. And also, I do want to say, anybody in the Henry County, Mercer County, Knox area, on September 19th is Jammin' for Justin. That is at In Zones in Kewanee. And what is going on? He was just on the episode. Jason Lindstrom has an organization called Jammin' for Justin. He lost his son at 7 years old to type 1 diabetes, and now he's fighting the fight with his 13-year-old daughter. And they're trying to raise money to find help and a cure for this. This isn't just for him or them. This is for type 1 diabetes research in itself. Jammin' for Justin. You can find it on Facebook or Instagram or off my own page. Please, In Zones Kewanee, September 19th. If COVID shuts it down, they will have a live video. Go support them. That's an incredible cause. Yeah. Wow, that was a whole mouthful.
That was. You really got that all there.
Yeah. Oh man, Jason was on the show and just crumble. Crumble. And he's an incredible guy. And to keep his head held high, even after something so devastating, is such an awesome thing. And he's trying to help people.
That's amazing. I have a cousin, but I think she has type 2. And it's manageable. So, and I remember when she got diagnosed that, it was just a whole world of unknowns, and I can't even imagine what that feels like.
That's kind of the cool thing about the podcast too, is the podcast started out as such a silly, goofy, like me sitting across from somebody just making jokes and then it turned into a thing where we had serious conversations. Like we had one of my friends, her name's Haley Paxton, and she suffers from lupus and epilepsy, and she had seizures her whole life, and to sit across from her and actually talk and discuss it. And then we had Be Humble Gym, which is a special needs gym for powerlifting. Aww. And they're incredible. Jordan, he was a big time alcoholic, drug addict, and he was able to break free from that to start this gym, and now these kids saved his life, and we had some of the kids on the podcast too, and they are incredible.
I bet.
I do want to give Ben, if you're listening out there, I want to give you a hard birthday shout out, and I want to say congratulations on that ring passing, boy. Yeah. So I'm giving his old lady a ring, and Ben was incredible. Ben suffers from Down syndrome, but he doesn't let it stop him. He's like the head chairman of the Special Olympics in Illinois.
Wow!
And he is a power lifter. He's a dancer too. And he's got moves. He goes outside in his leather jacket and he starts busting out some Miley. Yeah, he's a baller. I love that guy.
Oh.
But, okay, so now back into you. Now, did you go to Australia?
In law school, I went to... So, in undergrad, I lived in Spain for like 3 months, roughly. But in law school, I was part of this program where we spent like a semester learning about the law in different areas. And then we would travel there and see, or even like we went to Botswana, and we were actually part of their writing a new constitution. Mm-hmm. And we were part of that meeting, which was super cool. It was also one of the first group of Americans allowed into Cuba. Which was a really interesting experience. Obviously, all of our like happenstances there were law related for the most part. But so I have been to, while in law school, I went to Germany, the Czech Republic, Turkey, South Africa, Botswana. I think I'm missing one.
Yeah.
That's okay. Cuba.
You've been all over the place. That's awesome to see different pieces of the world. I think it's so fascinating that even in just a small, like even if just we're talking Illinois, there's such small areas that seem like you're in a different world. You're okay. The whole
sorry.
yeah, we've had earthquakes down here.
Oh.
We've had so many drunk spills down here.
Oh, well,
so this is like
sense.
such a pleasant surprise that I won't have to clean up after you.
No. You will not.
But yeah, like there's so many like little things. Like we just went when we like a year or 2 years ago, we went up to Potosi.
Oh.
That's in Wisconsin, right on the border.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's the most beautiful place. They have a brewery there. It was so cool. Awesome experience. And I think that every little place has all these awesome places, and then you go into a whole nother world when you're outside of the United States.
It was so when I lived in Spain, my parents came over for like the last week I was there, and it was so cool to feel like their tour guide. So I lived with someone, and she did not speak hardly any English, like maybe a few, but she housed all of like transfer kids. So we had like two guys, younger kids, they were 5 or 6, that stayed with her for like a weekend, that were from Germany. And so she does not speak any English, and my parents met her, and so I got to translate for my parents to her. And I showed my parents like where I went to school and where I
Did you ever mess with them? Like, she said that like
she doesn't like you.
Yeah, exactly.
It was no, I was a little nervous about. So it's actually really uncommon for real parents to meet your host parents. It's technically considered disrespectful, because it's like, oh, you're not doing a good enough job, I miss my parents. But I asked her weeks before they even booked their flight that I really wanted them to see where I lived, and my mom was really host mom, but I call her mom. We stay in touch, we write, all of that, and it's been 10 plus years since I've been there. So
that's awesome.
So she was really laid back, and she was also not the typical Spanish woman. Her husband had died, and it's really uncommon for them, even if spouses pass away, to not remarry, because Spanish culture is that women stay home and cook.
And so did you have, was there someone your age that she had as a kid or anything? So
they sign up to be host moms. She doesn't have to have anyone like my age or whatever.
Okay.
But she did have daughter's name was Kuka. I will never forget it. And then Maribel was a little child, and then she had an older daughter. So Kuka was my age. Maribel was technically her granddaughter. And she was 3 or 4. That child made me nervous. Because if you think about speaking to a child in English, you're like, you have to kind of read between the lines of what they're saying. Well, my Spanish wasn't good enough to read between the lines. So she terrified me because I could never say anything correctly to her.
So did you took Spanish in high school or in college?
Both. I have a degree in Spanish.
Oh my God, you got a degree in everything.
I have like 7.
Do you have a degree in running?
I wish. I'm thinking about getting in personal training.
There you go.
Of course I would be.
Those are actually pretty easy to get.
It was,
the studying for that, I mean, it's nothing. It's just online class. Yeah, there's a couple good ones out there. Yeah.
I've really thought about doing that and like specifically becoming a running coach. But
you could run. You could start a whole brand. You'll run and you'll teach law at the same time. Yeah, it'll be like
just combine everything.
You'll ask it like, "Hey Jimmy back there, what's the answer?" And he's like, "I don't know. Like I'm on mile 2. I can't think.
I'm trying to work here. I'm working on the running, not the law."
Yeah. So I think it's awesome. And now, your dream is to go all the way up to the Attorney General spot. If you could, is that?
So yes and no. My family farms around here, and I am lucky enough to have grandma and grandpa on one side and grandma on the other. My grandpa actually just passed away in March or April, so love you. But they so when I moved home, I had all 4 grandparents, and I just strive better with my family around me, and it would really. And I never want to go to Chicago. So
you went to some schooling in Chicago, correct? That's where something?
Nope.
Oh, I thought that I read that.
So I did a couple of study tours in Chicago.
Okay.
I think in undergrad. Nope. Yeah, undergrad. We came to Chicago and did studies on their subsidies, so their agriculture.
Oh, okay.
They have more agriculture than they think they do. So we were studying just kind of, and obviously that's where the market is. So we were looking at that in undergrad. I did that, but and I go to Chicago a lot for running. But I enjoy coming back home.
Oh, okay. Maybe I just crossed paths with. I saw that you were in Chicago and it said law, something, the School of Law. I have no idea. Who knows? At this point, who knows?
There's probably lots of tags of schools of law that I was really excited about.
Okay, so now do you have any small events moving forward that you're going to be doing? Anything like that? Kind of just going door to door and stuff like that still?
So... Surprise, surprise, I have a half marathon the first weekend of October. Mm-hmm. And then after that, we're really going to hit the ground running. Do
you have like a sign that you run with that says like, vote for Grace?
I don't. I run in my state's attorney shirt sometimes if it's like local. Mm-hmm. And I've done a couple of virtual runs that I wear my state's attorney shirt for.
Have you ever seen the movie Napoleon Dynamite?
I have.
Yeah, you need to have a strong campaign just like Pedro did.
It was just like a vote for Pedro.
Yeah. Make some people some cakes.
Just like, here you go. Desserts, the way to vote.
Dude, Pedro was the man. If Pedro ran for president, he'd have my vote.
It was. I think a lot of people might vote for Pedro at this moment in time. There's lots of black and or whites, but I think there's a lot of grays as well. And that's kind of where I really want to focus these last month on, is that there's a lot of people that simply, if you meet them, you're kind to them, you are logical, they're going to vote for you. Mm-hmm. And that's my parents. My parents are people who will listen to logic. My parents are people who... they don't vote straight ticket, I don't think. I'm saying, no, they certainly aren't now. They don't vote straight ticket. They want to, learn about the person. They want to make the most logical decision.
I think that's why because up until today, I don't really know you at all. And I can tell you that meeting you and learning, just hearing you talk and hearing you talk about yourself and goofy stuff and all this stuff, you're such a real person. I think that's incredible. I wish everybody could know who they're voting for on a level like I'm learning you right now.
And I hope that, I think obviously it's impossible to get to every single voter. Mm-hmm. And there's just, honestly, there are some people that are just strictly Republican. There are people that are strictly Democrat, and that's okay too. Mm-hmm. That's fine. But the real, meat and potatoes of what holds it together is the people that, is all of the people. You have to address each and every one of those people. And thankfully I haven't had a lot of like really bad feedback. I haven't had anybody be ridiculously mean to me. But I think politics is a really scary word for a lot of people. I know it was for me. When I was thinking about running or not running, I was like, gosh, can I, I take it personally when people talk bad about me. And I don't want to be attacked, and I want to be praised for the things I think I can offer. And I think a lot of people see how vicious politics can be. But once I really dived into it, I just don't let that stuff bother me, and I just move on with the positive things, and that seems to work.
Is there a lot of like interconnections between all of politics with you, with what your position will be, or is it kind of like you're off in a field of your own?
So there can be if you want there to be. I have always said I'm not really sure why this is even like a Republican-Democrat thing, because a lawyer should enforce the law as it is. I mean, that's how it should be.
Yeah. See, that's what when I was, looking through your page and your stuff, I like to learn a little bit more about, the person who's going to be on the show. And I clearly seen that you are Republican.
I am.
And I just went, if she's the, state's attorney, does that really matter? And it seems like to you, that doesn't. I mean,
I am a Republican.
Exactly. I didn't want to word it in a way that didn't make, like, not affiliate you.
No, that's fine.
But it just seems like you're a person that I just want to do this job.
And I think I can do the job, and I think I can do the job well. When you speak to me, I try to be a real person, but in a courtroom, and I am professional, I'm efficient, I speak my mind, but I'm polite. That's how the person who represents the county and the people of the state of Illinois should be.
And clearly you have such a hard work ethic. You just look at your Disney affair, look at what you did there. You went back to back to back to back to back, whatever. I mean, but like that just shows you do have a very strong work ethic. And I mean, you're busy. You're a busy person, and you're trying to make your childhood dream come true.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like a storybook, like, you know, like a weird storybook, you know, cliche. But honestly, it's just been amazing, and the campaign has done, you know, more for me than I really thought it ever would. My family, who has, you know, I went to law school with tons of people that parents were senators, parents were lawyers, you know, I didn't come from that. This was my dream. My dad's a farmer, my mom's a teacher. They both do what they love, but I didn't have a platform laid out for me. This was my dream, and I went and I got it, and my parents have been ridiculously supportive. I mean, just, that's not something I told them when I decided to run, you know, if you're not comfortable, don't put signs in your yard. If you don't want to do it, please don't. Because I'm your daughter doesn't mean you have to do that. You don't have to be uncomfortable. And I talked to all my family members, and, you know, they all have signs in their yards. But, you know, they wanted to do that. At least I felt like that. And
I think it's incredible. I think that passionate, powerful people, not powerful in a sense, but more like self-powerful, it either comes from you have a great support system or you have none at all. And you know, that can motivate a person to do so much more, having none at all, and then having a support system is one of the greatest things a person can have.
And I kind of got the benefit of having both of those things. You know, I have, my parents don't know anything about law, and sometimes I like that because I can explain something to them and realize, oh, I didn't quite understand that. Or, you know, I know when I'm going to come to them about a topic that I'd like to discuss, I need to be all-knowing, and it helps me explore areas that maybe I don't know. But I certainly have, in terms of like emotional love and all of that, I certainly had a fantastic support system. So that's really a great.
How many times have you cried throughout this process?
It's like you get in your car at the end of a long day and you're just like, oh my gosh.
I totally understand. I do it with the podcast all the time. I'm like, what? Like, at one point, me and Timmery couldn't figure out how to get onto Apple Podcast. We were up for 48 straight hours in this studio to figure it out. Finally, a group of old women on like some cricket site were the ones that helped us after 2 full days of just sitting here. Blood, sweat, and tears, and drink.
I was going to say there are lots of monsters and probably beer drink in the middle of that.
Yeah, we were just looked at each other like, I don't know. And she goes, I'm going to message this. And these old women are like, oh, girl, all you have to do is change the size, go like this, and then put it up. 2 seconds later, we're like, it worked.
Oh, we got it. So simple.
Yeah, we put some tears behind this pod. So
I bet I've watched it. I've watched it kind of grow. It's really been a great thing to watch.
It's been awesome, and you know, like you've been all over the world. Well, so is Shot 30 Podcast.
I saw that. You made the charts.
We made number 11 in the Philippines. We dropped all the way down to number 11, but my dog had gotten really sick. The dog that was in the bedroom upstairs.
Oh, the cute little German Shepherd thing.
She's a blue healer. She is deaf. So I had to teach her sign language when I adopted her. Oh. And it was just a really rough... She just went from this perfect, happy little dog to... She was just... The next morning, she was just dying. Oh. Like, I picked up a dead body, and I was actually going to do a podcast about it, but I'll say a little bit now. She had a temperature of 106. She had Rocky Mountain fever, which is a tick-borne disease. And it's very, very rare here. It only generates from the Rocky Mountains. And they told me she's not going to make it. Well, we are on day 7, and she is running.
She was standing.
She is running and barking and loving and eating and drinking and all the things she said. They said that wouldn't happen. They stayed really optimistic with me. They tried. I was just sitting out in the parking lot, and I was just bawling my eyes out. No. And I can't go in because of COVID. So I just give over my like dying baby, and I'm just like, please just don't put her down. Like, don't put her down without me seeing her.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. I'm so sorry, but I'm glad that she was doing great upstairs. So I'm glad that's.
Yeah.
I hadn't put 2 and 2 together, but now that you say that, I did see that post, and then
I'm happy that I didn't put up a video of like me. Okay, so when I'm at the vet, I took her to the Rock Island Animal Hospital. I went straight there because I knew she was gonna have to get X-rays and IVs and all these things. Well, I'm sitting in my car just crying, like, and every single person out there has a brand new puppy. Oh, I'm just taking my puppy in to get shots. And I'm like, my mascara's running. Yeah, you think you're happy now. Wait till it all is at the end.
I've said that about Max. At this point, when Max came home, because I, thankfully live with my parents. Woo woo. This is just a really undetermined time for me. So thankfully, my parents have taken me in and loved me like their own. So,
like their own?
Like their own, yeah, because I am. So it's crammed, but it's, it's working. It's what's best for me right now. I'm not sure it's what they probably want me to leave, but.
Well, and it has to be. I mean, your schooling, the school debt is incredible the way this all works right now.
Yeah.
And your school debt is off the charts. How did they expect you or me or anybody to, hey, go to college, spend $100,000, $200,000 in a lot of these cases, and then I want you to go out and buy a house for $70,000, $80,000, $100,000, depending on where you live, and buy a car that's going to be dependable to get you to and from work for another $20,000, and have any life whatsoever.
So I've been really blessed, and I also was decently intelligent about a couple of things. I actually graduated law school in 2.5 years instead of 3. I also graduated undergrad I went to a junior college, I had a scholarship for, which I think is how we crossed paths, I want to say, because I was in Kewanee, Black Hawk East. So, and then that was actually paid for because I was on the judging team, so scholarship. Then I transferred to University of Illinois. The Blackhawks saved me a bunch of money. And then when I went to University of Illinois, I was on the livestock team, and that helped a little bit financially. Also graduated early there. So obviously maybe that's not for everybody, but the scholarship saved my life. They're all out there. Applying as a senior is no fun, but it was totally worth it. And same with law school. There are programs, especially for like lawyers, teachers, things like that, where if you work for the government for 10 years, you can apply to have your student loan forgiven. There's also ways to, government jobs.
Wouldn't it be the worst if you're like at 9.5 years and they're like, hey, we're going to have to let you go?
So you can keep your 9.5 years. It doesn't have to be 10 years straight, thank the Lord. So go stick it out for 6 months someplace else. Go work for a nonprofit, something. I don't know, anything. But
at that point.
And they also have it so that right now they've forgiven some of them with COVID, or they're not making you pay. But there's also income driven. So there are options, but it's options that are always going to leave that debt over your head. Like, you're never going to pay it off. Like, that's just how it is.
It's crazy. I didn't go to college. I was thankful enough that I got a pretty good job, and then I went from that pretty good job to a great job, and then that great job was miserable. I was the manager. I was like 19 years old as a manager of the lumberyard at Menards. That was fun and great. But then I went from there to being a correctional officer, where I spent 6.5 years, and I thought that was really good for me. Yeah. Well, now I have a different job. I work as an estimator or whatever, and then I do the podcast and everything like that. But I just, at age 28, I'm 29 now, so for a year and a half, I've been taking about 2-3 classes online because we get it free through my wife's work.
Oh, sure.
And I thought I would hate it. I'm 29. I'm going to college. And It's honestly been, it sucks writing papers and all this stuff, but it makes me feel good that I'm doing more.
And so a lot of the people that were in law school with me were people who went through something and were like, this is not the profession I want. And they were fantastic students. They were, so I was actually, I think, in the minority, if you will, because it's actually rare, I think, that lots of people go straight from undergrad to law school. I did not realize that. I just thought, all lawyers know they want to be lawyers. And that's not true. And there were a lot of people that were police officers and wanted to be lawyers, or had served in the Army and then came. And that helps them financially as well. So if maybe people knew they wanted to be attorneys but took a different route, there were people that got married first, started a family, and then went to law school.
Oh, that's got to be tough.
Oh my gosh, there were 3 women in my law school class. Law school is a lot like high school. You are in the same classes with the same people for the whole first year. Not quite. The last 2 years you can kind of switch it up if you want to, kind of like how I did all the study abroad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the first year you have to go through everything together. Like, so it's like all the freshmen go through. We look like babies.
Okay, so with everything that did I forget anybody or anything on this thing? I don't know. At the Handmade by Haley. Go visit Handmade by Haley for handcrafted designs. It's holiday season. She has all of these beautiful signs that she makes in her own garage, and it's great artwork that she does. Handmade by Haley on Facebook. Go visit her and put your orders in. She's taking Halloween orders and Christmas orders. Now,
ooh, go Haley.
Haley is awesome. Haley makes like these type. She made this.
Oh, the Beer 30. That's so cool.
Yeah, she has made so much stuff. Like, she makes the witches for Hocus Pocus on the front porch. They are awesome.
Do you think she could paint my Frenchie?
I don't know if she could paint the Frenchie,
well, like
but
Frenchie
she could
thing?
do a Frenchie thing.
Oh, that's
Haley,
awesome.
Get on it.
It was.
Hey, help!
I'm for it, Haley.
Help out the future state's attorney.
Actually, my mom would probably love it, but me too.
Okay, so now, how is there anything where people can support you, reach you, see more of what you're about in this area for you?
Yes. So I have a Facebook page, Grace Simpson for Mercer County States Attorney. That goes straight to my cell phone. It's managed by me. It's not managed by, anybody else. I created it.
You're not getting one of those census guys?
No census people. No. Only been here a moment, but inside joke.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's not managed by anybody but me. Nobody else has you're not going to reach anybody but me via that. I respond to everyone. I think I think I said it on here, but I hand deliver most signs. I do have another couple of anyone in the Republican Party of Mercer County has signs of mine. They're left at the headquarters. So some other people at this point might be delivering my signs. But if you message that Facebook page, you will get me delivering your sign. And or we also have golf tees. Which have been really awesome and popular. We'll just give them to you. You don't have to purchase them. Golf tees.
Golf tees can get expensive.
We accidentally ordered 1,000 plus of them, so that's the smallest you could order.
That's kind of what we did with the koozies. We thought we were getting 10 and we got 1,000.
Yeah, so we have lots of golf tees. Please take them. And then we have little flashlights, keychain flashlights, and we give those to kids a lot, but anyone can have them. And also chargers. That was like this.
I was like, knives? You got knives?
No. I was like, gosh, what is this? Charging ports. So it's not a full-on charger, but it's the things that have the USB ports in them. They all have my name on them, so if
Yeah, absolutely. And so the election is what day?
November 3rd. Get out and vote. The other thing you can do with COVID, I'm going to do my little speech if you don't mind.
Give it.
Vote by mail. What you can do is lots of people don't want to vote by mail. They think there's lots of issues with it, understandably so. What you should do is you'll get anyone who's voted in the last 3 elections will get something sent to their house that you can apply for a mail-in ballot. You should fill that out, send it in. They will send you a ballot. If you do not want to vote by mail, and honestly, I encourage you not to because I think there's going to be lots of problems with it, or encourage everyone not to. You take that ballot that they gave you and go to the polls the day of. Mm-hmm. You can surrender your mail-in ballot and they'll give you a real ballot, but it protects your right to vote because if for some reason on November 3rd, they just decide to shut down the polls, you will, as long as your ballot is postmarked the date of the election, you can mail in your vote.
Okay.
So that's my political spiel for
Grace, I'm very happy you came on today. I think this is awesome.
Thank you.
And we will, I don't know, it's Saturday. We'll probably have this up tomorrow morning.
Oh, cool.
So this is Shot 30 Podcast. I'm Shayne Neubert. That's Grace Simpson. She is running for Mercer County States Attorney. And you can visit Shot 30 Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, CastBox, all those things. Go ahead, watch it on YouTube. Give us some 5 stars if you can. Like, share, subscribe, and go out and vote. Grace, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
That was awesome.